Conforto. He's going to be a really good player this year.
So Marlins win this one 4-1. 30 clubs in 15 days continues. Again, the Mets will be the focus for Robert and Cliff Thursday. Port St. Lucie, the Mets. You see the Rockies, Marlins, Angels, Cardinals, and Mariners along the way. And, of course, the Dodgers coming up. Greg Amsinger and Yonder Alonso got it covered.
Adnan, thanks. Yeah, we're in Glendale, Arizona. We're kickstarting our Arizona coverage with the defending World Series champions, and we should, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Greg with Yonder. I'm fired up for this. This could be so much fun. There are newsy things that I think we need to share with you because we've been in camp chatting with so many of the players and guys on the staff. We should begin with Freddie Freeman. I think fans want to know, how is his ankle at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's close to 100%. He even doesn't know, right? It's a new injury. It's an injury that he's never had before. But something tells me this guy, what he showed off in the World Series and in the postseason, he'll be ready to go first game.
As for the pitching staff, we think it might be the best in the world because they have like 8 or 9 guys that can take the ball every 5th day. They're talking about a 6-man rotation. Eventually, Ohtani comes back at some point in May, they hear. But what we're hearing, which is really just the groundswell, is everyone's healthy right now, which is crazy.
Everybody's healthy. Everybody's looking at a guy like Tyler Glasnow, right? They want him. They feel like he's the secret to the success of that starting pitching and that starting rotation. We have a healthy Tyler Glasnow. Be careful because things are going to go off the rocks right now with especially that bullpen that they have.
Yeah.
Kirby Yates right now, Tanner Scott, training. They're nasty.
You know, to talk about a player that's like under the radar or off the radar, if you will, it's hard to when a roster's overflowing with all-stars, MVPs, future Hall of Famers, right? But we did catch up with Dave Roberts, and he gave us a name, did he not?
Yeah, I had to ask him. I was like, hey, who is that guy that you want to highlight and see what he's about in that 40-man roster? Michael Conforto.
That's
he is the guy, a 2017 All-Star, a pure hitter, a guy that can lay the ball out everywhere to all parts of the field. I think a guy like that hitting 6th or 7th in that order, he's going to get a lot of pitches, a lot of opportunities. Be careful with him. He's going to be that hot guy.
Could you imagine Michael Conforto hits 7th for the Dodgers, hits 35 bombs?
Oh,
I mean,
what
the
a
super
steal.
team getting even more super, if that's the way to say it, Adnan. You have better English than I do. Again, we'll see you later here in Glendale. All about the Los Angeles Dodgers. For now, back to you in the studio.
Greg, debatable I have better English, but definitely not better sunglasses. Amsinger, bring it. Meantime,
How many pairs do you think he tried on?
17. Shohei Ohtani's spring debut is coming up right here on the network. It's the Angels and the Dodgers. Can't wait, Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern, here on MLB Network. Still to come here on MLB Tonight, Jose Altuve has been indispensable at second base of the Astros. Now, how's it going to work in left field?
We're soon going to find out.
We'll give our predictions now.
Welcome, everyone, to 30 Clubs in 15 Days, presented by T-Mobile. We're coming to beautiful Glendale, Arizona, Camelback Ranch, the spring home of the Los Angeles Dodgers, your defending World Series champions. No better way for us to begin our Arizona spring training journey. It's Greg Amsinger, my good friend Yonder Alonso. I mean, they celebrated a world championship by pulling out their pocketbook and spending over $500 million this offseason. A wild offseason for the defending champs.
Yeah, you look at this team from last year, 98 wins. They get to the World Series. They won a World Series and they played okay baseball. And now this offseason they got better. This roster's much better all around, right? Offensively, defensively, pitching staff, bullpen. This team is actually better than last year's team.
You keep saying that. It's crazy to think, but I'm going to ask. We should ask Freddie Freeman that question. Are they better this year than last? We'll ask Dave Roberts that question coming up in 30 Clubs in 15 Days. So if you're watching this going, wait a minute, they can't be a perfect baseball team. Is there a question mark somewhere? Should we address Mookie Betts playing shortstop every day at the age of 32, making that transition full-time? Is that a question mark in your opinion?
I don't think it's a question mark at all. I think last year it was more of an emergency status where you had to play some second, some short, some right. A full offseason getting ready, knowing you're going to be able to play shortstop every single day, that's just a plus for Mookie. He's one of the best athletes in all of baseball. I think he is prepared. I think his mind is ready for 160, 155 games at shortstop. Possibly could win a Gold Glove there. We'll probably hit 40 home runs, and they'll get to the World Series again.
And getting back to they're better this year, think of the 3 humans that weren't pitching for them last year that are wearing a Dodger uniform. Ohtani didn't pitch last year. He's going to be back. Blake Snell didn't pitch for them last year. Rookie Sasaki. If those 3 guys were on any other team and you bring them in, you have a really good rotation. Do they have the best rotation in baseball right now?
They have the best rotation if they stay healthy. That's the only question mark. But again, this is a Dodger team that's kind of revamping the way they work. These starting pitchers, they don't need to go 180, 190 innings for a full season. They'd rather have quality, 150, 140 innings. Give me your best when it counts the most. That's in September, that's in October and November. That's what they're aiming for.
Yeah, they went out and got a 2-time Cy Young Award winner in Blake Snell. He's kind of the headline attraction they brought into that rotation. 5 years, $182 million. We decided to kickstart our show by catching up with Blake Snell, and I asked him how his transition to Dodger Blue has gone so far.
It's been good. Feels good. Camp's been very welcoming, and I'm excited to get it going.
Blake, I got to ask you about some guys would say spring training's too long, too many games. But looking back at, your year last year with spring training had to be ramped up during the Aprils and Mays of it. Do you take a little bit of a different appreciation for having a full spring training now and getting ready for the season?
Well, I came out a couple weeks early just to make sure I was ready, get to meet the new teammates. A lot of the guys were here early, which is pretty cool. But last year it taught me a lot. It made me better. I feel a lot more prepared going into this spring and excited for where I'm at and where I'll get to.
Lefties always hang out together. I've seen you talk about Kershaw, probably in our generation, the best left-handed pitcher in our game. Being with him in the same clubhouse, what's that like?
It's cool. It's, well, like he's been through it all. He's done it all. So any question that I'll have or anything he thinks he can help me with, it's going to help me be a way better player and understand the game even more than I do.
Dodger fans are excited to watch you pitch. Is there anything new? Is Blake Snell adding a wrinkle to what he's bringing to Los Angeles, or what you saw the last couple of years, what you're getting in LA?
Yeah. Right now, velo's still good, movement's good, the consistency's good. So I like where I'm at. There's no sinker, cutter. I'm not there yet, but I'm aware that with age and velo, if it does drop, then I'll have to add that.
Let me ask you this about the starting rotation. Last year there was not one guy that threw over 160-plus innings. You're a guy that likes to log in your innings. Have they told you anything about, hey, we want 200 innings, 190 innings, or we just want quality from you, or whatever is the healthy Blake Snell?
Yeah, I told him I want to pitch. That's kind of all we've got to right now. They're just going to see how everything breaks down with spring and go from there. But they know I want to pitch, and I can't wait for it.
And you're cool with the NL Cy Young award-winning prediction I made on you. You're cool with that, right?
I'm good with it, yeah.
Right.
I gotta make it happen now.
Okay. Well, I think that's why we got the interview. Not because of you, because I said that. Hey, good to see you, man.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started on 30 clubs in 15 days, Dodgers edition. Coming up, Yonder asked me if I think this year's squad is even better than last year's championship team. That's next.
Glendale, Arizona, where the Dodgers are still basking in their World Championship glory from 2024. A World Series ring they would not have obtained without their injured star first baseman, Freddie Freeman. Yonder is standing by with the postseason hero.
Thanks, Greg. All right, Freddie. You said last year in the World Series that it was going to take some time for all this to sink in.
Yeah.
You were the hero. Finally, after a whole offseason, has it sunk in?
A little bit, yeah, just because of the fans here. Every day in and day out, road games, home games, it is packed to the brim here at Camelback, and they're letting us know every single day. It's special. It took about a month or so for it to really settle in, and I think I've said it before, Charlie and I went down a YouTube rabbit hole just to see what was going on, and that was pretty cool, just the fans' reactions to all that went on in the World Series. So. Yeah, it's been special this spring training so
Let's
far.
speak a little bit about that. How do you feel health-wise? You're going to be able to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the plan like?
Yeah, so it's kind of I'm right back on the training room table. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, so 12 weeks tomorrow post-op. I'm going to play in the first game. I'll be DHing tomorrow. Just kind of manage the workload at the beginning. So I think I DH tomorrow, shooting for DH again Saturday, and potentially play first on Sunday. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's just tedious rehab stuff in spring training.
Last year's offseason was incredible,
Yeah.
right? They got a couple guys that were incredible, Shohei, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
But this year, completely different roster. They added more pieces.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this team is better than actually last year's team?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that because we haven't played yet. And we won a championship last year, but it's special to be part of for an organization, ownership group, front office to go out there and keep adding and trying to put the best product we possibly can on the field. I mean, it's on us to go out there and play. I think this game is, we wish it was more predictable than it is, but they gave us every chance to go out there and be special in the field, so hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a special one for you. I still think you guys are going to get to the World Series again. Wishing you nothing but the best.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you.
All right, Greg. Who do you got?
Yonder, thanks. Here with Tyler Glass now. Tyler, year one with the Dodgers, did it go as planned? How would you assess the way you fit into this organization?
It didn't necessarily go as planned. I think, obviously, the injury stuff, the biggest goal is to stay healthy and just be able to contribute in October was the biggest thing for me. So that's the game plan this year. Just find a way to address staying healthy, contribute in the postseason. And I think when I was healthy, I pitched well, but I still think there's, I guess it's, for me, I know I can do better than that, I guess. So that's kind of the goal going forward.
Is there like a checklist that you're trying to attack in terms of staying on the mound and getting 25 to 30 starts?
I think just maintaining like consistent mechanics. There's a couple things I changed this offseason. I think working with the coaches here and like just making sure each week I stay consistent in like what I'm doing and not tinkering, I guess, too much to where it's like a drastic difference. There's always going to be tinkering. It's baseball, but yeah. I think just staying within myself mechanically and kind of looking at it each week and making sure I stay on that path.
A six-man rotation makes sense to fans, but not all pitchers like expanding the routine. Where do you stand on it?
I'm kind of indifferent. I think the last few years the Rays kind of did it a bit too. The Dodgers did it last year sometimes with the built-in off days. It was sometimes like 7 days. So I think in terms of consistency, a 5 day is great, but I think kind of what I've been going through with the injury stuff, I think it probably makes a lot of sense. So I just got to kind of adapt and just do it all season long.
Can a rotation overflowing with stars and future Hall of Famers really impact other members of the rotation?
I think so. I think each week in and out, I think as a starter, you're always really competitive. I think you always want to go out and pitch well that week, and I think when all the starters around you are really good, you kind of play up to that standard, I guess. And I think just learning the routine throughout the week and talking to some guys and like having Kershaw there and just there's so many good pitchers on the team, I do think everyone can kind of feed off one another.
I can't wait to see you make 30 starts and just be in the mix for a Cy Young. Tyler Glasnow, you got some of the best stuff in the game.
Appreciate it.
Love watching you work. I would have done the interview with Yonder, but he's afraid of you. Apparently you dominated him. But Yonder's talking hitting. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Yonder, who are you with right now?
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Oscar Hernandez. Theo, was there any chance that you were going to go anywhere else in the offseason? I mean, it just felt like Dodger Blue just fit in perfectly with you.
I mean, it's always a possibility. I'm not going to lie. But in my head was I'm going to do anything in my power just to come back. Obviously, I wait until they get a good deal and get it done.
All right, let's talk a little bit about position changing, right, from left field to right field. How's that working out for you? Do you like it more? Do you feel like there's more of an opportunity out there in right field? We've seen what you can do in left field, especially in the World Series. But what about now going to right field?
For me, I feel more comfortable playing right field. Obviously, last year I played a little bit in the first half. But for me, it's wherever they want me to play, I'm going to go there. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do the best that I can to help the team. Going back to right this year is going to be even better. I feel more comfortable. This is about how you feel, where you're playing, where you're hitting in the lineup. And for me, I think it's going to be better.
Look, everybody's going to come and bring you the A games, right? That's what it is. When you're going to Dodger, when you're playing against the Dodgers, it's number one. You got to bring your one game in. How much fun is that for next year moving forward, knowing that you guys have a chance to possibly repeat?
Just to think about it, it's really exciting. We got a pretty good team. We had a good team last year. We got a better team this year. It's just a matter of time. Everybody stay healthy. I think that's going to be the key for us this year. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to enjoy it the max and just enjoy the game.
One thing's for sure, you're going to have a nice smile every single day.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be 330 and 100. You got to book it. Wishing you nothing but the best, and I can't wait to watch you this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Yonder.
So you dance when you won the World Series. Are you going to actually rap when you win back-to-back World Series? You got to give the fans a little something.
Dude, I could do. I remember back in the day. Certainly, I did the Ice Cube. That was like a take your shot, as these young kids say now. It's like I got to take my shot, so I shot my shot.
And you did.
I shot my shot with Ice Cube, so I did that. Curtis Blow used to be my guy. It was called basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king on the microphone. So with Dr. J and Moses Malone. So that's all I got. I still remember that. Man. Let's go.
Highlight of the show right there. Dave Roberts. 30 clubs in 15 days rolls on from Glendale, Arizona. Will the Dodgers do something we haven't seen in 24 years? You have to go back to the trifecta of titles from the New York Yankees, where they ended it in 2000. We have not seen a team win back-to-back World Series titles. Let's talk about that right now with our manager interview presented by Sage. We're here with the world champion skipper, Dave Roberts. Dave, you don't look hungover, man. That World Series hangover thing, is that a real thing?
It's a real thing, but I had 3 months to get over my hangover, and I did that by eating really well, doing a lot of travel, and now being here in the desert, I feel revived and ready for 2025.
But World Series hangover is how the team plays the next year.
Right.
Are you buying that at all?
I'm not, because even my only point of context, guys, is 2021 after we won in 2020, and we came out and won a ton of games. The Giants edged us out in the division, but we won a ton of games and lost steam later in the postseason. But, our guys came into camp this year. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, all these guys came in 2 weeks early to kind of get ready to go, where you're kind of guarding against thinking about they might come the day before report date, but they were all here early. Everyone's excited, and obviously with the infusion of the position players, the pitchers that we got on board now, guys are raring to go.
I thought last offseason was amazing, right? Ohtani, Yamamoto, all of a sudden now, $500 million you guys spent this offseason. What was that like, getting those phone calls every day saying, okay, we got this guy, now we got this guy, now we got this guy?
It was like, it was like each day seemed to be like my birthday or Christmas. And it's like, every organization, every offseason, you sort of have a wish list, a checklist on what you want, a hope list, or whatever it is. And, even after we signed Blake Snell early, that was a plus offseason. Yeah. The main thing for me is we have the ability now to say no. There's a lot of people that want to play for us that just don't fit the character bar. Fortunately for all of us, our character showed out last year.
You dance when you win the World Series. Are you going to actually rap when you win back-to-back World Series? You got to give the fans a little something.
Dude, I remember back in the day, certainly I did the Ice Cube. That was like a take your shot, as these young kids say now. It's like, I got to take my shot. So I shot my shot.
And you did.
I shot my shot with Ice Cube, so I did that. Curtis Blow used to be my guy. It was called basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king on the microphone. So is Dr. J and Moses Malone. So that's all I know. I still remember that. Man. Let's go.
Highlight of the show right there. Dave Roberts, I love it. Well done. Thank you so much.
All right.
Actually, we're talking about Roki Sasaki. He's the top prospect in all of baseball. Jim Callis, our prospect guru, has more on him. Jim.
Thanks, Greg. Dodgers, not only are they defending World Series champions, they also won the strongest farm system in baseball. It starts with Sasaki, but there's a lot more behind him. 6 top 100 prospects. You can see in this graphic here. We list 5 of them. Sasaki's number one in all of baseball. Dalton Rushing, one of the best catchers in baseball. Josue DePaula is a Jordan Alvarez in the making. They have Jackson Ferris, not even listed here, another top 100 prospect. Zaire Hope, both came over from the Cubs last year in the Michael Busch trade. And Alex Freeland is a shortstop knocking on the door in AAA. We'll have our completely updated Dodgers top 30 prospects list. That'll be unveiled March 5th at Mlb.com/pipeline. And right now I'm joined by one of those prospects, Dalton Rushing. Dalton, thanks for joining us. You're coming off a great year. You were Dodgers minor league player of the year. You got to AAA, hit 26 home runs, which was second in the minors among all catchers. What are you working on? What do you need to do to make that next step and make your big league debut?
Yeah, I think it's more based on just like playing whatever they need. It's not really just worrying about catching. It's not really just worrying about the outfield, first base, whatever it is. It's really just being able to do all of it, essentially, and just continue to hit. Really, that's obviously the main piece. That's what they're going to need in the lineup towards the end of the year. That's what they're going to need in the lineup towards the middle of the year, wherever that time fits in. Yeah, I think that's my main goal, is just continue to hit and play whatever position they kind of put me in.
Last year, MLB introduced Spring Breakout event, which is prospect games across spring training in both Florida and Arizona. You got to be part of that.
Correct.
I think you went 1 for 2 with a walk. Good day against the Angels. How much fun was it last year? And are you looking forward to participating perhaps in this year's game against the Cubs on March 13th?
Yeah, it's fun, for sure. You get to play against some of these guys. Big names in the game of baseball, especially a lot of upcoming stars. I know the Cubs have a few in particular. Yeah, it's a fun event as far as it's been. So last year went great. This year's, I think, is going to be even cooler, playing a team like the Cubs. I think it'll be a great matchup. I'm excited.
Well, thanks, Don. Look forward to seeing you make your big league debut at some point this season. And now back to you, Greg.
Jim, thanks. A reminder, the second annual spring breakout begins March 13th as the top prospects from the Rays and Red Sox can be seen right here on MLB Network. Tune in on March 6th at 11 a.m. to find out which prospects will be participating for each team throughout the spring breakout. All right, Yonder, the moment has come. Your 2025 Los Angeles Dodgers predictions.
I think they got better. I think they win 100 games. I think they run the National League. I think they get to the World Series. This team got better the offseason. They made some great signings. They got some starting pitching. It feels like all these guys that got hurt are all coming back. The bullpen is very solid. They got some great hitters. I got them running it.
I think they're going to have a banner year, a record-winning year. They're going to break the Mariners' record of 116 wins. They win 117 games, Yonder Alonso. 117 games. But I believe in incentive. And they just won the World Series. It's a game of inches, right? That's what baseball is.
It is.
Right on the corner. I think the Philadelphia Phillies can feel the window shutting. I think the Phillies beat the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series, and the Phillies go to the World Series.
Wow. With that starting pitching and this offense that they've got.
I know.
And the discipline of Dave Roberts.
Bryce needs a ring, Yonder. Anyway, it's going to be a terrific year for Los Angeles Dodgers. That wraps up our coverage here in Glendale, Arizona. Let's send it back to Adnan and Dan in the studio, guys.
Still to come here on MLB Tonight, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. How would he fare for the LA Dodgers today? And a little tune-up. Spring training highlights are on the way.
Really comfortable on the mound today.
You got Delgado. In the meantime, make sure you join us this Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on MLB Network. Shohei Ohtani's spring debut in the lineup, facing his former team.
I'm calling that's going to be a sellout.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Both in person and at home. Angels and Dodgers is coming up. So let's talk about this Los Angeles team. You know, they look to become the first back-to-back World Series champions since the Yankees in the late 90s, and their pitching staff really has been the focus, Dan. You know, a year ago, they're in the bottom half of baseball in ERA. They were 19th, and in terms of innings pitched, they were 25th. Clearly, they've made an effort to bolster that and sign as many different guys as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I try to have some fun with this. So when you look at their starting rotation on paper, it's pretty impressive. But they all come with some type of injury history, though, too. So, to me, Blake Snell is like the surest bet there. Sasaki, you just don't know what you're going to get. Goslin's coming off of Tommy John surgery. Tyler was shut down for the last half of the season. And Yamamoto missed significant time through the course of the year. By the way, Ohtani's not in this rotation, but he will be in May. What I like to do, though, is assuming they're not going to pitch many innings, that they're going to each average between 100 and 120 innings. So how do they cover the rest of those innings? Oh, okay, we're going to go down to the JV team now, and we're going to look at who else is available for the Dodgers to make up that innings gap this year. And look at this. Dustin May, Michael Grove, Bobby Miller, Landon Knack, all those guys, other than Jackson Ferris, who's a young prospect, got innings last year at the big league level. May, of course, was hurt. This is their projected ERA versus via Fangraphs, and we randomly just picked out some guys in that National League West and their ERA just to try to give you a comparison to say, if this pitching staff was a pitching staff at the Major League level, it'd be a very, very competitive pitching staff, and yet it's going to be the Dodgers JV pitching staff that's going to supplement what goes on at the big league level with the varsity pitching staff.
Right, and having said that, we all know the best laid plans go to rest because guys will get hurt. You do need to have plan A and plan B, et cetera. So ultimately, if you look at this Dodgers team, do you feel like the pitching depth is necessary because of the past injury history?
I do, and I think they know that, and they're not going to try to push the innings on these guys whatsoever because this is an October team, and they want their best pitchers to be ready to pitch in October. So all of those guys I mentioned, maybe not Jackson Ferris, but he's very talented, all of them will pitch meaningful innings for the Dodgers this year at the big league level. So basically what they've said, we've got 11 or 12 guys that are going to cover the 1,100 innings that we need to get out of our starting rotation, trying to use the quantity we have to try to get as much quality as we possibly can, and trying to sustain health for the guys that we really want to be healthy as we get into the end part of the season and when the new season starts, which is October baseball.
They can afford to have Ferris take the day off. Why is it that Snell was the most important offseason signing? You love this Blake Snell.
I really do. I just think he complements the staff. I think he is a durable pitcher. Maybe he doesn't give him a ton of innings, but he takes the ball every fifth day. And he's a great competitor. And his stuff just complements this pitch mix and how he goes about attacking a hitter. just is way different than anybody else on that staff. So I think he's a really good fit for this organization.
Crazy. He's got more Cy Youngs than complete games in his career. May not go deep necessarily, but he's going to win. And what are the thought for a Mookie Betts? 65 games at shortstop a year ago. 8 of his 9 errors were throwing errors. I know he's an incredible athlete, wonderful player. How do you think it's going to happen at short?
I think it's, I think comparing last year to this year is not, there's not even the same realm of the discussion. He was asked to play shortstop at the beginning to the middle of spring training, no prep time at all. The fact he did what he did with that type of timeline is incredible. He's had the entire winter to work out every single day at shortstop. He is a very well-prepared young man. He loves challenges. And then I think he's going to settle in, and I think he's going to be exceptional at the position. I think he's going to surprise people on how good he is.
ロサンゼルス、ドジャースがスプリングトレーニングを本格的に開始し、2025年シーズンの幕開けが近づいている。昨年、ワールドシリーズ制覇を果たし、98勝を挙げた強豪チームとして、今シーズンも優勝候補の筆頭に挙げられているが、オフシーズンの補強によってさらに戦力が向上し、史上最強ともいえる布陣が整った。球団は500億円以上を投じて、すでに充実していた戦力にさらに磨きをかけ、大谷翔平、山本由伸、佐々木朗まで、ブレイク、スネルといった超一流の選手を迎え入れたことで、攻守ともに歴史的な強さを誇るチームとなった。今年のドジャースがどこまで進化を遂げるのか、そしてワールドシリーズ連覇という偉業を達成できるのか、多くのファンとメディアが注目している。まず最大の補強ポイントは、大谷翔平の加入である。昨シーズンはエンゼルスでメジャーリーグ最高の打撃成績を記録しながらも、肘の手術により投手としての登板は封印された。しかし、ドジャースはその圧倒的な打撃力に加え、2025年5月以降に投手としての復帰も見据えて大谷を獲得。打線の中心としての役割はもちろん、シーズン後半からは二刀流の力を存分に発揮する可能性が高く、彼が健康を維持できれば、ドジャースは他のチームにとってさらに手がつけられない存在となるだろう。昨年、メジャー全体で OPS1.000 を超えた打者はほとんどいなかったが、大谷はそれを達成し、今季も打率3割、40本塁打、100打点が期待される。彼がドジャースのラインナップに加わることで、すでに強力だった攻撃陣はさらに厚みを増し、どの投手にとっても悪夢のようなオーダーが完成することになる。さらに、先発ローテーションも大幅に強化された。日本球界のエースとして NPB で圧倒的な成績を残した山本由伸は、メジャー移籍初年度ながらすでにヤング賞候補に挙げられるほどの注目を集めている。彼の特徴は、伸びのある速球と切れ味鋭いカーブ、そして精密なコントロールであり、ドジャースの堅固な守備陣と組み合わされば、驚異的な成績を残すことが予想される。また、もう一人の日本人投手、佐々木朗までも異次元のポテンシャルを持っており、最速165キロを記録する直球はメジャーリーグの中でもトップクラスの威力を誇る。まだメジャーの環境に適応する時間は必要かもしれないが、彼が順調に成長すれば、ドジャースの先発ローテーションはさらに盤石となる。そして、ブレイク、スネルの加入も忘れてはならない。彼は昨シーズン、ナショナル、リーグのヤング賞を受賞し、安定したピッチングでパドレスを支えた。ドジャースでは、ローテーションの中心としての役割が期待されており、彼がエース級の活躍を続ければ、チームの投手陣は圧倒的な強さを誇ることになる。また、タイラー、グラスノーも健康を維持できれば、強し速球と鋭いカーブで相手打線を封じ込める存在となる。昨シーズン、ドジャースは故障者続出により先発ローテーションが不安定だったが、今年は十分な選手層を確保し、6人ローテーションを採用することで、シーズンを通して安定した投球を維持できる体制が整っている。一方で、攻撃陣にも注目すべきポイントがある。ムーキー・ベッツは今季からショートストックとしてフルシーズン出場する予定だ。昨年は65試合でショートを守り、エラーを記録する場面もあったが、今オフには徹底的に守備練習を積み、ポジション適応に全力を注いだ。ベッツの身体能力の高さを考えれば、彼がショートストックとしてゴールドグラブ賞を獲得する可能性も十分にあり、新たなポジションでの成功が期待される。また、フレディ、フリーマン、ウィル、スミス、マイケル、コンフォートなど、打線の核となる選手たちも健在であり、彼らが持ち前の打撃力を発揮すれば、ドジャースは今季もメジャー最強の打線を誇ることになるだろう。さらに、チームの目標として、シアトル、マリナーズが2001年に達成したシーズン116勝を超える117勝という大記録も視野に入れている。これが現実的な目標かどうかは議論の余地があるが、 昨年98勝を挙げたことを考えれば十分に可能性はある。特に今年のドジャースは打線と投手陣のバランスが極めて優れており、故障者が少なければ歴史的なシーズンを送ることも夢ではない。しかし最大の目標はやはりワールドシリーズ連覇である。1998年から2000年にかけてニューヨークヤンキースが達成した以来、メジャーリーグで連覇を果たしたチームは存在しない。それだけにこのミッションがいかに困難であるかは明白だ。昨年は圧倒的な強さを誇ったドジャースだったが、今年はライバルチームも戦力を強化しており、特にフィラデルフィア、フィリーズやアトランタ、ブレーブスが強力な対抗馬となる可能性が高い。シーズン終盤の戦いに向けて、選手たちはどれだけ万全の状態を維持できるかが鍵となる。このように、2025年シーズンのドジャースは、歴史的なチームへと進化する可能性を秘めている。補強の成功により、投打ともにリーグ最高レベルの戦力を誇り、117勝やワールドシリーズ連覇といった偉業達成も現実味を帯びている。ただし、野球は予測不可能なスポーツであり、どんなに強いチームでもシーズンを通じて試練に直面することは避けられない。それでも、今のドジャースにはその試練を乗り越える力がある。彼らがどのような道を歩み、どのような歴史を刻むのか、これからのシーズンが大きな注目を集めることは間違いない。ドジャースの挑戦が始まる今、ファンとしても全力で応援し、この歴史的な瞬間を見届ける時が来た。